Hey guys, this is the last video I'm uploading about the 33x33 this year. It's actually a sort of Q&A aftermath video after I got all the comments and questions after all 3 videos I made on this puzzle. So I'm going to answer those questions right now. So the first question is, why did I make a 33x33 and not another number? I answered this, I think, in the mechanism video that I uploaded last week. The reason I chose this is because I had a binary approach in mind when I created the mechanism. So binary is like when you put one layer in between 2 existing layers. Like for example, this is a 3x3. If you want to make a 5x5, you just have to insert one layer between each. So it goes 3, 5, 9, 17, 33. And that's why I chose this number. Plus there was another reason, it's that it was symbolic, with Rubik's Cube being the 3x3x3 and here being the 33x33x33. It's just something I wanted to do, and yeah, I'm glad I chose this number because it wasn't too big, but it wasn't too small either because I had a 1.5 margin with the previous world record, so yeah. The second question is, will you scramble it? The answer is not yet, no. Because, well, I already spent a lot of time on this puzzle, way too much, and I need a pause. I might scramble it in the future, but just not now. I'm not ready for it. Will you make more videos about it? The answer is no, not yet. So I don't really know. For now, no, not in the near future. So this is all I can answer. Now this is a question I really enjoyed. Where the hell are the centers? And that's a question that I asked myself about 50 times already. Every time that I was trying to adjust the puzzle, I was trying to find the center. I actually had to go and count the layers from the corner and then count the layers all the way to the center to find the center cap. So it was a bit of a challenge. What do you mean by all your puzzles will be available at Oliver's sticker shop? By that I mean that everything that I create that is sufficiently high quality enough to be playable and be fun is something that will be sold on Oliver's sticker shop. Right now there's only 4 or 5 designs because he didn't have the time to upload them all. Obviously it's a lot of work and I don't expect him to rush it. So if you want a puzzle of mine, just wait and you will see it within a few weeks or months. That's a question that I really enjoyed because it really made me feel like you guys enjoy my videos. It's someone who asked, why doesn't your channel have more subscribers? And the thing is, since I've been doing this for 7 years, usually I didn't really make high quality videos, and now I'm trying to make my channel into a better quality channel. At first I didn't even speak when I made my videos. You can find them on the YouTube channel in the earlier videos that I uploaded. It was 7 years ago and they were really bad. I'm gonna be perfectly honest with you, they were terrible. And so yeah, recently, about 1.5 years ago, I figured, you know what, I really want to make something out of this because I've got content and I just need to make it more enjoyable for people. And this is why I really got into the YouTube channel more seriously, and I think now it's starting to feel good and to feel like it's, you know, worth watching. So this is why I'm getting a few subscribers now. So yeah, this is why it doesn't have any more. It's because I really started filming high quality videos recently. Could you show the 33x33 move at a regular speed? The thing is, in the mechanism video, I did show the 33x33 turning with the strap, but the thing is, it wasn't really representative of the turning quality because there was that strap. So I'm going to show you how it turns right now. Don't get your hopes up though, it doesn't turn that well. Now the thing is, initiating a turn is not the hard part. Let's just say I want to turn the top 3 layers. I do have to push them on each side, so that's just like any other big cube like this one. And then I have to turn it. So the turning is actually quite good, it's reasonable, but there are lockups due to the fact that there are so many parts, and therefore it doesn't look like it turns well. But as you can see, smoothness is not a problem. Nevertheless, the lockups are. And the thing is, once you've done that turn, you reach the end of the turn, which is where the problems are, and that's because the corners have to be pushed in place, and you're going to hear a click. And once all the corners are clicked into place, the turn is done. So that's because on the inner mechanism, I'm going to try to explain this with pencils, actually. Now I found markers, so I'm going to explain this with markers. If I take one and try to move it over the rest of the markers, parallel to the markers, it's going to be bumpy. See? let me put that back here. It's bumpy and it just skips every time. Now if I turn it about 30 degrees and move it over the markers, it's less bumpy, right? And now if I move it 45 degrees, it's almost not bumpy at all. As you can see, I can roll it over the markers and it's not going to fall in between. If I roll it between the markers, it's just going to fall. Now let's explain how this happens on the 33x33. Now on the 33x33, when I told you that the parts had to click into place at the end, that's because of that bumpiness when they're parallel. So at the end of a turn, the parts are bumpy because they're aligned. And that's what makes it difficult to turn. Also, I can get lockups because all those layers are hard to align. So when you take into consideration every single issue that there could be, obviously it's quite difficult to initiate a turn. But you'll notice that once the turn is initiated, well, it spins much better. You just need to get those 45 degrees and, well, at least 20 degrees should be fine. Right now I've got 20 degrees down and now it spins quite well. It just locks up because of those parts that are just everywhere. But overall, the turning is smooth, but there are lockups. It's quite smooth. Nevertheless, once you reach the moment where the parts start becoming parallel to each other, that's when it gets pretty catastrophic and it gets quite hard to turn. Plus, you can hear the clicking noises, that's because of lockups. So this is why the checkerboard pattern took me so long to make. Those parts are very long, by the way, and this is why they tend to just shift down in mid-turn, and that causes lockups. This is something that you can't really avoid on such a big cube. And now I'm going to click the parts into place while trying to not make it pop because I untightened it recently, and I'm pretty scared of the potential result. But overall, this is what happens when you click them into place. There you go. So this is how you turn it. So obviously it's quite difficult to turn. I'm not going to hide this. That's because it's huge. It's just absolutely huge, and obviously due to the size, it's not going to turn that well, especially considering it has twice as many parts as the 22x22 and 4 times as many parts as the 17x17. So yeah, it doesn't spin excessively well at all, and I'm not trying to hide it or anything, but I just wanted you guys to know and to see just why it doesn't turn well. How does the weight affect the turning? I think that's a very interesting question. Nevertheless, the answer is quite simple, it doesn't. The weight is not what affects the turning, it only affects your ability to grab it properly and then turn it. But overall what affects the turning is only the tightness and the surface roughness of the parts. How much would it cost to buy one of these? The answer is 15,200 euros, and it is for sale on Oliver's sticker shop, so yeah. Do you think that there will be a bigger cube one day? My answer is yes. For now, you know, there's always the limitations of, well, not only experience, because obviously I had to design this, and not many people would know how to design something like that, but there's also this idea of how many parts are in the puzzle. I spent 205 hours on this puzzle, and I know I would never try a project like this again, so if someone had to beat my world record, it would have to be someone else. And finally, I think it's especially the technologies we have today. This had to be printed in separate parts, 6,153 separate parts, which is huge, and it was a lot of work, but I'm pretty sure that once 3D printing becomes, you know, higher quality and more efficient, people might be able to print puzzles like these in one go, and therefore you wouldn't need to assemble them, and therefore they would be much easier to create. So I think in the future, maybe not the near future, my record will be broken, definitely, yes. Why is it you don't have a French accent when you speak English? I gotta be honest, most French people have a terrible accent when they're speaking English. I'm actually French and American. I was born in the US, but I came home when I was 2 months old. But then I came back to the US and I lived there for 3 years between the age of 8 and 11, so I learned how to speak English quite well, and therefore I picked up on the American accent. Nevertheless, I lost my accent recently, or at least slightly, because I lived in Northern Ireland, and therefore my accent completely changed. So now this is the accent I have, but I used to have an American accent. Will you make your designs available free to use? Actually, I do have a few of them that are available, but they're very simple designs. They're on my Google Drive. I put a link in the description below normally. And the thing is, as for the other puzzles, I will not. It's a lot of work, and I just don't want to give it away for free. It's a personal choice, and I hope you guys understand. I don't want to be copied by companies. If I make them free to use, the thing is I have absolutely no protection on them, and I don't want to be knocked off. Now this question is actually due to a mistake that I made. A lot of people asked, well, isn't it 1,331 cubes instead of 1,661 cubes to make a 33 by 33? The thing is, yes, it is 1,331. If you wanted to make this with regular 3x3s, you'd have to put 11 times 11 times 11, and that is 1,331, but I just made a mistake in my video, so sorry about that. How long did that checkerboard take you? Now, normally it would have taken me about 2 to 3 hours to make, but it took me 5 to 6 hours, and I will explain that later on in this video. How many configurations does it have exactly? In my original video I said it had 1.153 times 10 to the power of 4094, I think. That was actually wrong. That was a mistake on my part. It's actually 1.869 times 10 to the power of 4099, so I was close, but it was wrong. What happens if it pops? Now that's the reason why I said that the checkerboard took 5 to 6 hours. I got a 95 part pop at some point because, well, I had screwed a center too tightly, and the thing is it was blocked 45 degrees and I didn't see it because it's so small, and I got a part of the 9x9 that popped, and therefore the whole puzzle went nuts. I'm going to show you an extract of this because I actually have the video. As you can see, it's popping on the side. As I'm turning, you see the edge falling off, and that was pretty catastrophic. It took me 2 hours to fix, 2 to 3 hours, and it was a 95 part pop, as I said, so there was a lot of parts to fix. This question is one of my favorites. Someone asked, did it break twice like the 22 by 22? This is completely different. Did it break twice is a very specific question, you do realize that. So yeah, no, it did not break yet, and I hope it will not. How would you feel if someone made a 34 by 34? First of all, I would be surprised because they're not making a 35 by 35, even though mechanically it's the same thing. And second of all, I would be very disappointed because, well, if someone breaks my record, at least I want it to be broken by a lot, not just by like a small margin for someone who really didn't make any extra effort to break it. You know, I want this record to be broken like massively, not just by one layer. That would be just disappointing and sad. How much did the stickers cost you? Believe it or not, that was only 20 euros, and that's because Oliver cut them. He makes the highest quality stickers for very cheap prices. So yeah, definitely go buy stickers at Oliver's shop. I cannot say it enough. But yeah, it only cost me 20 euros. How well does it turn compared to previous world records? You saw the video, I'll let you judge for yourself. I wouldn't say it turns exceptionally well, but it's actually reasonable for a puzzle that has that many parts. What was that, a 10 by 10? How come the video didn't get viral? That is actually a question I've been asking myself a lot. I'm kind of disappointed because this thing cost me a few thousand euros, and I really didn't make a lot from that investment. So yeah, I was hoping it would get viral. I was expecting it to get viral, so it was a pretty big disappointment. Nevertheless, I got a really great response, so I don't really mind. And yeah, I couldn't tell you why it didn't get viral. It even got picked up by some pretty big pages like Mechanical Engineering, Engineering World. It got picked up by Threaders. It got, I don't know, it got many articles online on various platforms, but it didn't really go viral, so yeah. A very interesting question someone asked was, could you make a larger cube using this mechanism? Someone asked this because I used a 9x9 mechanism and then put 3 layers in between each layer, and they were like, can't you just go for 11 layers and then add layers in between? And the answer is yes, I could. The answer is also no, I'm not going to, because I do not want to work on a project like this again. It was way too much work. How did you not glue parts together when coating the big edges with super glue? The answer is I did glue them together actually, but it was easy to separate, it was easy to split apart those different parts because I just had to use an X-Acto knife and it did the job. But the reason why I didn't do this for the whole puzzle is because I didn't want to split those parts individually. It was just too much work, so I only did it for the outer edges, but yes, I did have to split them apart later on. Was it hard to design? And the answer is no, actually. It's a pretty straightforward mechanism. When you have 7 years of experience in that domain, it's very simple to design something like that. It's just that it takes time. It's like everything. It's like solving a 7x7 is as easy as solving this, except this just takes more time because there are more parts. Same goes for the 3D design. My SolidWorks became super slow when I tried to design an 8x8. How did you manage to do this? The answer is, I just had patience. To be honest, my SolidWorks went completely nuts when I designed this. It was lagging all the time, it was terrible, but it just took time. It was just waiting, and at the end it took about 5 minutes per part to prepare, or 10 minutes per part because of the lagging. So yeah, it wasn't that easy. It really required patience. Why did you design this in a part file and not an assembly file? On SolidWorks, when you're designing things in an assembly file, you have to design each part separately and then assemble them. In this case, I actually designed just a cube and then I cut it using surfaces and it created the parts automatically. So it's not the same type of work that I did. Doing it in an assembly file would not have worked, whereas doing it in a part file made it much easier. Can you send it to RedKB for a solving video? The answer is no, and I'm going to explain why. The thing is, a while back I created a sort of project where I sent my cubes around the world to different YouTubers so they could borrow them and play with them. And the thing is, I sent it to one called Sajo, who is a Polish YouTuber. And the thing is, he really couldn't care less, and he sent the package without any protection, any tracking. And the thing is, he basically lost the package, and I lost $800 worth of puzzles, so I will not be shipping my puzzles to lend them to anyone anymore because it's just too big of a loss. And with a puzzle like this, I just would not be able to do this. It's just too much risk. How much did the puzzle cost? I can't tell you that because I don't think it would be fair to Oliver and myself if I told you this, because you would know our margins and it's just not something that should be done, I think. And I hope you understand, but I can't share this information with you. Nevertheless, with the sponsorship, it cost me over 3,000 euros. This is something I can say, and this is just for the parts, so you don't count the fact that I got more than half of the price off. You don't count the fact that there's 205 hours of assembly, the price of the stickers, price of the die, screws and everything. There's just so many factors involved, the taxes even, that I can't give you any information, but I can say that I spent over 3,000 euros on it. And when I mean over 3,000 euros, it's about 3,500. Could you put it next to a 3x3 for scale? And the answer is yes, of course. This is a 3x3, and this is as well. Overall, the difference in size is quite big. Let me see if I can show you this. This puzzle is absolutely huge. It's 20 centimeters to an edge, whereas this one is 5.7. So yeah, it's absolutely huge. And the final question, it's not related to the 33x33, but it is to my channel. And the question is, will you still upload videos during the move? For those who don't know, I'm moving in January to a new house that I bought. And the thing is, I've recorded a few videos in advance, but I don't think it will be enough, and I'm not sure I will have time to process them, so I don't know. I can't tell you. I will do my best to release videos. In the meantime, all I can say is that for the weekend of the 30th to 31st, I think, the New Year's weekend, I will not be uploading a video because I will be taking a weekend off and having fun with my friends. So this is it for me. I've answered all the questions. If you have any more, please ask them in the comment section below. I will answer everyone. And I really wanted to thank you one last time for your support, for those who helped me out, those who supported me before, for those who knew, and everyone who supported me after I released it. I loved reading every single one of your comments. It meant the world to me. So thank you so much for making this project worth it. I had a great time. So yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Please feel free to subscribe. If you haven't seen my other videos, please do so. I promise you they are worth it, and I'm sure that you will find them interesting. So thanks for watching, and thanks for being there.